Yes.
Hit the button.
I think I did hit the button, but I'll need one of you guys to let us know when it's up for everyone else. I think we're live now, but again, our third week in a row. I don't really know. I have no clue, D-Batch.
Let me check on my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus.
You're live. We are live.
Why are you advertising for, huh, D-Batch? We all know you work for Samsung. What's going on, guys? The Dealer here, back again with another RDX podcast. Thanks to everyone that's rocking out with us live. You know what? I'm going to get into some intros, and while I do some things in the back end here, and we can kind of get moving forward with all these great topics. We got so much to talk about, Randall Thor. How have you been, man? Thanks for joining us.
I mean, what is this? I take a break from RDX for a couple weeks, and then Colt goes missing again, and here I am.
I know.
Answering the call. Like, what is up with Colt? Where is he this time? Last time he was at the Backstreet Boys concert. Where is he now?
This time, he's on vacation.
Sync at a new concert.
He's on vacation, yeah. I don't know. Colt's been MIA, man. He's been MIA, but thanks for filling in for him, man. You're one of the best.
Well, thank you, Dealer. I enjoy coming on RDX. Can't wait to see what everybody thinks of the Gears 5 news and all the cool stuff we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Hey, Fonzarelli, brother, how have you been, man? Welcome back to the show.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me again. It's been awesome lately. Of course, it's time for RDX, so it's amazing today, and the chat's here, and I'm ready to go, man.
Oh, also, Tim Dog couldn't make it this week. He'll be back next week, though. People got lives, stuff happens. So, it is what I think we missed an episode or two because I couldn't be here. So, it is what it is, guys. Thanks for coming in, joining us live. We already got over 150 people watching us live. Hit that like button as we get more into the intros. We'll get into some shout-outs, get into some topics. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, guys. Thank you so much for rocking out with us. You make us the most powerful podcast around. Isn't that true, Zalker87?
Yes, we do. And it's just heightened by having the superstar Randall Thor with us. I don't know if you guys know, but he's kind of a big fucking deal. Million gamer score, pedigree.
Like 6 girlfriends every week. Motherfucker's a pimp.
Every day he just tells me. Like, he's just a great guy, great gamer. And
why are you saying this? Because now I'm going to feel bad if I make fun of you later.
I'm just setting you up to look like a piece of shit, Rand, for later.
Okay.
So there you go. Everybody welcome. I'm glad to be here.
It's tactical defense, Rand. Tactical defense. Hey, D-Batch, man, you're one of the best as well, man. The most talented that never knows when I ask him, how have you been? I don't know.
I don't know. No, I've been good, man. I'm coming off a real high this weekend. AMD held an event in my city, a 3-day event. It was pretty cool. They got a lot of cool stuff in there. Even kind of funny games was in there. I have a video up on my channel so you guys can see all about that. And I actually won a laptop. So shout out to Asus. I guess I'm doing shout outs to brands today. It was a great show overall. Sapphire, AMD, everybody was just fantastic there. And man, it was such a good segue to come into Monday and Gamescom and everything that we've seen with Gears. Like, I'm so hyped to talk about this game, and I'm really hyped for today's show. So let's go.
God damn, D, if I look through your window right now, I am in the bush outside. Am I gonna see are you like a fucking NASCAR right now? You got a fucking Fig Newton sticker on your forehead, you got an AMD badge on your left butt cheek. Like, what's going on, corporate man?
Actually, I'm wrapped right now in my AMD t-shirt. Actually, it's more of a jersey that they gave me, and they actually put D-Batch on the back. So shout out to AMD once again.
Wow.
You got a Snuggie on, don't you?
That's amazing.
Snuggie on.
That's absolutely amazing. Hey, I want to go ahead and move it forward with Wilmy Hood. What's going on, brother? You were on here before. People liked you. I'm bringing you back. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, it's good to be back, man. Everybody knows me, the gaming mouth of the South, Wilmy Hood. Last night I was Preacher Wilmy, but we won't get into that tonight. Glad to be back on RDX. Last time I had to leave kind of early, so this time we shouldn't have any issues.
Well, hey, I am pretty sure I got everybody here. Again, Tim, Colt not here this week. They will be back next week. And speaking of next week, man, some of us will be playing Gears 5. I cannot wait to jump into this game. If you're just joining us, guys, thank you so much. You guys are absolutely fantastic. We got a lot of good positive stuff here today. You gotta get it from somewhere. Might as well be us. But we're also pretty critical as well, as you guys know. So we may talk about some of these things. There's not too much to be critical of here lately, Rand. A lot of good stuff. But hey, I can't be critical of my patrons. Those of which everyone who signs up, thank you so much. But those that are in the shout out tiers, the least I can do is kind of shout you guys out, man. So Vac Boss, Daniel Vasquez, we got Jed Meyer, Scout Trooper 74, Patman Gaming, and some of these guys might not even be in here this month. I haven't even checked yet. Honestly, I haven't had time, but I'm gonna update this list soon. Centurion, LegionOfGamer.com, Obi-Wan FTW, we got Black, Real Deal Neil, we got Suicide King, Darge Knight, Prime Suspect, Michael Bowen, we got Channing Pennington, Guillermo Cavillo. Guillermo, man. Guillermo's been around forever, man. Thanks a lot to Guillermo. We've also got Wilmy Hood, and we've also got Alfonso Hogan. A-Squad Gaming does fantastic content on Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, all that stuff. Check his link out down below in the description. And Slim Killer 73. Thank you guys so much for what you do. And as well as the YouTube members. If you see a special color on their name in the chat, their name should be on the chat on the screen. See an Xbox logo next to their name. Those guys are members. Thank you so much for what you do. Absolutely fantastic stuff here. So, let's start with a kind of topic before we get into the heavy gaming related stuff. This was a big deal yesterday. Insomniac bought by Sony, and this was officially confirmed by Sony. For one, Rand, I want to throw out there that Spider-Man did 13.2 million copies on the PS4. And Ted Price says, joining Sony gives us opportunities to fully achieve our visions on a larger scale. Sony also unsure about the future of Sunset Overdrive. Keep in mind, guys, what was once an Xbox exclusive is now owned by Sony. The Insomniac owned the IP. Now Sony owned the IP. So they could technically come out with Sunset Overdrive 2 on the PS4. That's very interesting stuff. Some people are downplaying this. I wouldn't do it. I didn't downplay it on Dead Labs or Playground. I did say, yeah, they only made Xbox stuff before anyway, but I never said it wasn't a big deal. It is a big deal. You can lock that talent down. Randall Thor, this is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it sure is. It was kind of shocking, although, I mean, maybe not too surprising. They've always worked with Sony, dating back to the PS1. They've done Spyro, they've done Ratchet and Clank, they've done the Resistance series. And then they kind of went off on their own. They did Fuse for EA. They did Sunset Overdrive. They went back. They did Spider-Man.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Graham. Now, one of their lowest rated games of all time is Fuse.
I played it.
Yeah. What was the thing that separated that game, and why do you think that game specifically was so bad? You said it right there in what you just said.
Generic game. It's a very generic B-tier game.
Well, they made it with EA. Think about it, right? They made it with EA, and of course, it's their trash game, right? So, not great. Not great news.
Elevated themselves, though, dealer. Me and you both agree on this. Like, Spider-Man was just like it was like a leap, right? From where they were making very good games to making a great game, in my opinion. And obviously, Sony has a lot invested not only in the studio, but in that Spider-Man IP that they're working with. Like you mentioned, 13.2 million copies sold on one platform in less than a year. That is a huge accomplishment. If you read,
it is Spider-Man is among the most popular characters in the world. There are other factors, I think. It's obviously not just the reviews. It's not just that it's on the most popular platform. It's not just that it's a Spider-Man, but all of these things combined, man, this game's selling like crazy.
Yep. I mean, it's a great game. I mean, I still think Arkham City and Arkham Asylum are better, in the superhero genre. But for a first try, it's pretty good. But if you're Sony, of course you gotta lock up the talent, because we're in the age now where everybody's looking for content, not for the console war upcoming, but for the content war. Where are you going to play games? So you need content. Microsoft out there buying new studios. What are they up to? 15 now. They bought 8 recently. Epic bought the Rocket League developer. Google is trying to get going with Stadia. They're going to be looking to buy developers to make exclusive games. It just made sense, even if they only made PlayStation games. It's something they absolutely had to do because they couldn't afford somebody coming in there and taking Insomniac from them in the exact same way Playground Games was for Microsoft.
And that did happen to Microsoft. Iron Galaxy Double Helix was bought out from under Microsoft with Killer Instinct, right?
Yeah, Amazon bought them. So it's a big move. And you know what? They just tweeted it out. I love that it was just casually dropped at a 2 p.m. on a Tuesday instead of like being held for a conference.
Mm-hmm.
That's a standard going forward. If you bought a new studio, just announce it on Twitter. Put out a press release. There's no need to just wait until a conference. Just say,
Yeah,
"Hey,
but they did it during Gamescom.
Yeah.
Like, right
They
when
didn't
all
open the event for it.
a lot of eyes were on gaming and a lot of everything, and they dropped it.
And
Like,
this was planned,
it
right,
wasn't a
Zalker?
random-
Like, this was planned. They had embargoes. The interviews
Oh, yeah.
released right when, at 2 p.m., right, Rand? Like, all the interviews,
had
all the
quotes.
stories.
They had quotes and everything from Sean Layden, from the guy that is the CEO of Insomniac. That everything ready, man. That was just, they were just ready to announce this, and it's something that I said in my video, Dealer said in his video, this isn't downplayed, people. This is a freaking giant get for Sony. Like, yeah, I know they've made nothing but Sony games for, most of the time. They made one Xbox game, but this is a AAA, extremely talented studio that has talent up the ass. And, even when we were playing Spider-Man last year, me and Dealer would be in parties sometimes, and we're like, how the fuck did they make? Like, this is great. Like, it's a great game. And Sony just locking it down. And it is the content war, like Rand said. This is what a lot of companies are going to do. And it's something that all of us on this panel have said, that Xbox needs one or two of these kind of gets. This big AAA giant studio with a lot of talent that'll give us a great AAA experience of a game.
Get it, Zalker.
So, yeah, just go. Like, that's what we're saying. Every one of us, you could go back and listen to the damn tapes. We've all said it. We've all critiqued it. So that's what it is.
I mean, it happens. Fonz, real quick, Insomniac, PlayStation, not necessarily a game changer. They're already working with PlayStation, but it's still big in my opinion. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I didn't argue with anybody yesterday, but I did have a back and forth with somebody on Twitter yesterday that was kind of downplaying it, and I said, no, it's huge news because, honestly, like Zucker said, I mean, somebody out there with big wallets could have came along and snatched them up, especially with how big the Spider-Man IP is right now. It's just massive, and they wanted to lock that down, obviously. And I'm not going to say anything that hasn't been said already, but it good for Sony. I mean, they should have done this. It's kind of one of those things that was kind of expected, but not yesterday. It just came out of the blue, and that was really the cool part of it. And yes, it was strategic. Also, I have to put this in there too. It was done on the same day that Gears 5 was, the campaign trailer was revealed. And I think that kind of was part of the strategy there, personally.
You saying sabotage, Fonz? Are you saying Sony did this deliberately to sabotage Xbox?
No, I think they're competing. They're playing the game, and I like that.
I don't know if it was like, you said it was like expected that they'll buy Insomniac. I don't know. I think it was expected that they were going to sign a contract for Spider-Man 2. But I didn't think that they were going to get Insomniac. I thought Insomniac was almost kind of unbuyable because they are so talented. It's going to be super expensive to get them.
Well, Ted Price said he wasn't interested not long ago in selling.
Yeah, exactly. So Sony, I think, again, tip your hat off to Sony, guys. Sorry, it's the way it is. They probably paid a shit ton of money for that studio. A shit ton of money for that.
I'm trying to figure out why we got 7 dislikes. I know it ain't Sony, guys, because we're talking it up, right? So it's gotta be a few Xbox. I mean, come on, guys. You don't want us to lie to you about this and tell you some shit we don't really think, right? All this time we put on these channels and this podcast, like, you want us to lie to you about this? Honestly, it's a good get, man. If Microsoft got it, it would be a good get as well. Playground was a good get. Undead Labs was a good get. They all made exclusive games, basically. The only difference is with Playground and Undead, those guys never made PlayStation games, so Insomniac's even more impressive than that because they've made Xbox games before. So I don't know, man. They're a good, talented studio. Spider-Man has elevated that franchise, the whole studio to me.
And I would say this: if you look at what the industry is doing, if a company like Sony or Microsoft really trusts a studio, they tend to branch it out. Like, isn't Guerrilla Games like two teams now, and then isn't a bunch of people from Naughty Dog leaving and making a whole other studio in San Diego? Like, Sony, I think, really trusts Insomniac, and they're not. I don't think they're just going to make Spider-Man. I think they're going to hire like crazy and make them do 2 AAA games. I think they're going to.
They're 100%. They're going to go and make another Ratchet and Clank. The last one sold incredibly well. They obviously are going to continue Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
They have made VR games for Oculus Rift. We know Sony is making a PSVR 2. Right, according to all the rumors, it's possible. Because if memory serves, Insomniac has 3 teams: 1 big one and 2 smaller ones. there's
Okay.
that. Then, of course, there's the other
There's
question,
Resistance.
Taylor.
Isn't there Resistance?
Nah,
Didn't
they don't care about Resistance. I don't
Years.
think Sony cares about that. The whole Sunset Overdrive thing. I don't know if we were going to talk
Yeah.
about this at some point because you didn't give me any of the talking points, but I don't need talking
You don't need
points.
them, Rand. You know everything.
I don't need them.
I know.
What about the Sunset Overdrive stuff?
I mean,
You know,
I brought
that's a
that
big
up.
question.
I brought that up. They said they're uncertain about the future of the franchise.
It's
Right.
not. I mean, honestly, it's not a huge seller. I mean, it wasn't on the Xbox anyway.
Now, hang on. I got to address this real quick. Shav in the super chat has a great point. He says everyone's forgetting that the initiative has a AAA title, but here I feel like you shouldn't even have had to make that super chat, Shav. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the tip, but just because we're talking up the Insomniac deal does not mean that we haven't been talking up the initiative since the beginning. That we will not discuss them again tomorrow. Right? This has nothing to do with Xbox. We know Xbox have 6, 7 AAA capable studios. We know they're working on a ton of games. But that doesn't mean we're going to not talk up this acquisition, right? So thank you so much. I get what you're saying. Initiative are going to make, I believe, probably one of the biggest games of all time. You know, if the talent's anything to go off of, right? I don't know. D-Batch.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's wrap up the Insomniac thing because we got so much other stuff. D-Batch, Insomniac. What are your thoughts real quick? And then maybe Wilmy Hood, if you have anything that hasn't been said, man, we got so many topics. Let's hear it, D.
This is a huge acquisition for Sony. There's no downplaying that. There's no spinning that. This is huge. Sunset Overdrive 2 maybe wasn't a big seller, but people still want a sequel to that game. And I think Sony guys, just because it's Insomniac, I think they'd probably go out and support it a little bit better than maybe the Xbox community did. Spider-Man 2, that's like a no-brainer. It's a reason to own a PlayStation device, especially with the last Spider-Man game. And Ratchet & Clank, that game amazed me. That game, it was really close to CGI. So they're a really, really talented studio. And this is huge for Sony. And I'm interested to see, apart from, these franchises that they have already, what they're going to work on next, or if they're going to collaborate with other Sony studios. It's huge for any PlayStation gamer and good for gamers in general, man.
Somebody's saying Sony bought the Spider-Man IP back in '99. I think they licensed it, right? That whole deal is complicated as hell. As a matter of fact, they just pulled Spider-Man out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so you'll no longer see Spider-Man in Disney-based Marvel movies anymore. You're now going back with a purely Sony-based Spider-Man movie from now on.
Yeah.
And the internet has imploded from it.
Yeah, well, because Sony needs to keep making Spider-Man movies, or the rights will revert back to Marvel.
Yes.
So they need to keep making them at a certain time. And they had a deal with Marvel, and now it's kind of like, or Disney, and now it's starting to become messed up. And they wanted like 50-50, basically revenue from it. And Sony said no. So now he's probably leaving. And I'll be real, I think the movie that's not that damn good, I think Venom is a big reason why Sony's kind of like
that damn movie did so well, man. It fucking sucked so bad. I fucking hate that movie.
Yeah, so I think they saw that and they're like, well, the franchise and the characters, if we just keep making movies, people are going to watch it. We'll make enough money.
Why are you helping me, Venom? I was the loser on my own planet, Eddie. Like, what the fuck?
Damn it.
I don't know, man.
You're a loser.
I'm
a loser.
Hey,
it's like, all right.
Andy Serkis is directing the sequel. Maybe they'll put some money into it stuff, but at the end of the day, guys, it's all very interesting. Hey, we've got your mom in a can 12. Maybe Sony will encourage Microsoft to find another AAA studio, Bungie. Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Maybe they'll see this, or maybe they're already on the hunt, man. You never know. Wilmy Hood, kind of wrap this up, man. Were you surprised by this? What were your thoughts?
I don't think anybody should have been too surprised. I mean, people in Insomniac probably, went to work this morning and go, "Oh, I thought we already were owned by PlayStation anyway." So I mean,
so Ted Price walked into the break room. He's like, "All right, Sony owns this." Like, what the fuck? Who's been paying my salary?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see where it was that big of a shock, honestly. But I think if all of us here, we're all here for Xbox, but I think maybe this is a wake up call for everybody at Xbox. Maybe instead of selling the tennis shoes and the pretty shirts, maybe we should buy more studios.
S. Vitterman says, why are Sony fans acting like Xbox fans are upset of the acquisition? Thanks, man. He says he's a fan of the show. Good work. Thank you so much, man. I'm not really sure, man. They try to rub a lot of things in. They're even trying to downplay the Gears 5 trailer, which we'll get to and stuff. It's kind of an interesting.
People are trying to downplay that.
Of course, D. Fuck, you saw the 540p zoomed in PC picture, zoomed in on low settings?
But after what they saw yesterday, how?
Bro. Yeah, I mean, we've seen worse.
How? It's Xbox.
Well, I'm gonna say one more thing about the Insomniac thing is that people like that are downplaying it. You understand that Insomniac is gonna help every other first-party studio within Sony. Like they've won awards. Insomniac themselves have won awards for being collaborative and helping other studios. Like they're very, very, very fucking talented. And that's it's now they're going to be focused even more and help other studios, which Sony's already known for helping each other. It's just it was just perfect fit for them, man. Like
Soccer, but the only thing I want to say about this, and then of course we can wrap this up. But I like, aren't any of you kind of feeling the same way I do sometimes? Like this was another very talented, development team that got bought up. And I kind of like having these independents out there that are very talented and stuff. I mean, sometimes, creative freedom is lost when they're swallowed up by, a company. I'm not saying Sony's going to do that. I'm not saying Microsoft's going to do that, with their development teams, but I just like having, the CD Projekt Reds out there. And,
it's only going to get worse, Fonz, because
it's going to get worse, Fonz, because right now, for the first time, and we've talked about this before again, first time in history, gaming has so much money in it that these independent studios were so expensive that Microsoft, Sony, all these people were like, I don't know, I want to sign that check. But now we see how much money is coming in. I know it sucks, but it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, because I'm coming from the days, in the 80s and 90s when
you had THQ and all these different. I mean, so many people out there.
Amazing times, man. And of course, they take their games to whatever platforms they wanted to, and it was really nice.
Unless you worked with Nintendo, where they're like, nope, you don't bring it here only, you're fucked.
Yep, exactly. Man.
I think the real reason you'll see the studio swallowed up is due to the services. The very services some claim are going to kill Xbox, are going to kill PlayStation. Everybody's trying to lock down these exclusive content providers for their streaming services, for their Game Pass apps, right? So that's one of the big reasons. They're just looking for more studios. They need to pump out more content to encourage you to subscribe to their service, much like a video app today, right? So it is what it is, guys. Hey, I got to give a shout out to almost 600 people watching this live already, guys. Let's try to get to 300 likes for the end of the show, 1,000 after the fact. We do appreciate it. Share this where you share things. It really helps more than you know. If you haven't become a channel member yet, hit that join button. Check out the Patreon link down below. Maybe do it after the show. Be well appreciated. But we do got some other great topics to get to. Let me go ahead and scroll to this, Randall Thor. What are your thoughts about this, Randall Thor? Sony confirms. And this is a fact. I guess somebody can get this link because we're going to have another Andy, another hashtag bitchface, that basically is trying to call us liars on this. But Sony confirmed that they are looking for a wider appeal. Some games will go multi-platform. This is from Sean Layden. And he says, we must support the PlayStation platform. That is non-negotiable. He also said, that said, you will see in the future some titles coming out of my collection of studios which may need to lean into a wider install base. They've hinted at this in the past. Who is it? The guys behind Detroit Become Human just recently talked about Sony giving them the green light to bring their games to PC and how great it was. And we've been saying this for years, guys. I don't know why people can't take what we're saying and try to, fucking read the future with it, because all this stuff's coming true. Everybody's expanding where they bring their games. That's why we're not doom and gloom and everything, because we know it's the way of the industry. Rand, am I crazy here? Is this really what he's saying? Can you double confirm? Can you read Braille?
Because they actually listed a game today on the Epic Game Store that's not out yet, that Sony is publishing, called Ready Set Heroes. Comes out October 1st.
Now, this doesn't mean that Last of Us 2 will be on PC. I want to clarify. But it does mean that they're doing a similar thing that kind of Microsoft are doing in that approach of bringing more things to PC. And eventually, I think everything from everyone will probably be on every platform. If you want more money, you got to do it. In 10, 20 years, that's how it's going to be.
Rand, I was waiting for Ready Set Heroes, but now that it's going to PC, it's not going to be as good.
It's going to suck. It's going to run at 4K, 120 FPS. It's going to be way worse.
I think it'll be mostly multiplayer focused or multiplayer games.
Yes.
At least in the beginning.
But let's remind people, Rand, because people are already leaning on that. Let me remind people. Now, I'm not saying these games will do this, but if you're going to lean on multiplayer, you better be a lot more specific, because Uncharted has multiplayer, Last of Us has multiplayer, Gran Turismo Sport has multiplayer, MLB The Show has multiplayer, Killzone has multiplayer. Most all of your biggest franchises have multiplayer. So what's the stipulation that people are going to use now?
I would say it's the same kind of stipulation that Matt Booty talked about in that Game Informer thing, where he said the huge franchises will be on Xbox and Xbox only, except for PC. And I think that'll probably be the same case with PlayStation. It's like Last of Us, that'll be on the console and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be on the console and that's it. But maybe, that Predator game they showed, since they're publishing that could have hit PC. Maybe if they bring back SOCOM there, I think they, for a game that requires like a big user base, maybe like an MMO, because I think Sony Online does some of that stuff. I think that is probably the angle they're looking for, at least right now. I mean, who knows what happens?
It looks like it's a test bed for me, for them to see.
Matter of fact, you hit it on the head there, because they do have like Final Fantasy 14, which is a huge MMO online, and they both do. I think that's crossplay with PC as well.
Yeah.
NASCAR Allo, how dare you be late? I mean, Fonz, you've been on the show, right? You've been on the show, so you were an original member. We've been talking about this for years.
Dude, exactly. When Microsoft was coming out with Game Pass, and we were all talking about it then, we've all said that eventually Sony is going to follow suit. They're going to do something similar, and I still hold on to that. It's going to happen one day. And I even think some of their bigger games, like you said, Rand, The Last of Us and stuff, maybe they might not go to PC, but I could see them doing sort of a Game Pass sort of thing with PS Now, and that coming out eventually day and date with their consoles.
So does that make the game worse that people can get it in PS Now for $1 or $10 a month?
Of course not. But, it's just funny that, just Sean Layden saying what he's saying now today. It's hilarious that, it kind of gives us some validation for those of us who've been talking about this for years, literally. And the thing is, what else is funny about it is the fact that a lot of these naysayers were just adamant against it. Like, no, that's not going to happen. And even when you talk to them about it now and show them the quotes, they're like, but that's only multiplayer. There's always some sort of excuse. But the thing is like, dude, a year ago, even a month ago, you wouldn't have said this would happen even with multiplayer.
And these are the same people that said that crossplay would never happen, and they didn't want it, and then Sony said it's cool, so now they're cool with it.
And I'm not trying to get into a fanboy this, fanboy that. That's not what I'm going for here. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it's business, man. And these businesses have to run a corporation. They're going to do what they have to do to make the most profits. And you got to understand that as a gamer. It's a different industry now. It's not the same industry I grew up with, and it's not the same industry that you guys have grown up with. It's changing, and we're seeing that.
I feel like I'm getting the talk.
This is just the beginning. I mean, honestly,
I'm scared.
100%. You can take this to the bank. 6 months from now or a year from now, Death Stranding will be on PC, published by Sony on the Epic Games Store.
Yeah.
Super geek.
Sony's going to choose the Epic Games Store because they get the 12%, and then Epic's going to throw them money up front. It'll be Microsoft on Steam, Sony on Epic.
For now, until they eventually make their own store or something in the future, maybe.
I don't think they're going to bother doing it. They'll just let Epic give them money, and they'll take the 88%.
I could totally see that happening. 6 months after the launch, I could see that happening.
Hey, Super Gee, real quick, just so I can get this. Sony only has the cinematic rights to Spider-Man, according to Super Gee. But people have furious day-long arguments over this. So, good luck, Super Gee. We wish you the luck.
I just wanted to finish with saying that it's not a fanboy thing, and it's not even fear mongering. It's just the way the industry is going, and you either have to adapt to it and accept it, or you're just going to be falling behind. And if you're involved in this console war, it's ridiculous. I mean, you have to look at it at just we're here for the games, and that's all you should care about. If you want to get a PlayStation, get a PlayStation if you love the games there. If you want to get an Xbox, get an Xbox. I mean, nobody is freaking stopping anybody from getting what they want and enjoying the games that they want to enjoy. I just think that, the industry is changing and people need to adapt.
Hey,
People are gonna have a rude
Microsoft
awakening.
crushed a lot of these people too. I remember talking to people and they're like, well, Halo and Gears and all this stuff's coming to PlayStation. And I'm like, man, people have been saying this since 2001 or whatever with Halo 2. Like, you got to understand that I'm a cross that bridge or burn that shit down when I come to it kind of guy. I'm not going to sit here and fearmonger. This could happen in fucking 5 years or 2 years or a year. I'll tell you what I think might happen. But until it does happen, I'm not getting emotional over it. But I told people that Microsoft, there's no confirmation they're bringing anything anywhere, and Microsoft officially confirmed this, and we're going to talk about this later today. They're not bringing shit nowhere. As a matter of fact, they're reducing the amount of games they're bringing to other platforms. I've got all that information here on this show, so tons of good stuff to talk about. Wilmy Hood, your thoughts on Sony kind of going more mainstream, wide appeal? Does it make sense? You're a businessman. To get more money, you got to appeal to more people, or you got to have a wider customer base.
Matter of fact, I want you guys to give me some lottery numbers because you guys did predict this a while back. But I think we've all known. I mean, but now
It's
it'll
common
be a
sense,
genius move. It'll be a genius move now because Sony's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
When Microsoft does it, you got the little people on Twitter with their picket signs, doom for Xbox. But now it'll be the greatest thing ever.
Mm.
And it's smart on their end. I mean, you got a larger base.
Yep.
Like me, I play a lot of games on PC.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. You prefer what you prefer. I prefer Xbox. A lot of us prefer Xbox here, but that doesn't mean that, if you prefer PlayStation or Steam, you can't come on here and talk games. Like, it doesn't got to be like that. I got to give a shout out to Mo Cool Kid. Hey, man, what's going on? By the way, I'm having voice message issues. I reply to people with voice messages because I'm not typing 1,000 years on the controller. And I can't hear people's voice messages. I click on it, it gives me the option to report the message. I can't listen to anything. So I'm trying to get back to people on Xbox. It's taking a lot longer now. We've also got Dreadpool, NASCAR Aloe, Timothy Clark, Spider-Man. We've got Noof in the chat as well. I saw Luke in the chat earlier. Super Gee, Unknown Assassin, Mr. Glass, Matthew Bryce, Jack E, Lethal Papa, the mods, Obi-Wan, and all you guys. Thank you so much for what you do. Fantastic chat. Let's go ahead and move this forward because now that we've got official word from Sean Layden that their plan is to widen that up and offer that on more platforms in the future, that kind of bounces off of what Phil Spencer said in a recent interview where he says it does make sense to collaborate and cooperate in certain circumstances, which only makes sense. We've talked about this forever ago. He said it more than once, and that leads us to Ori. This is a perfect example of what he's talking about. Ori is coming to Switch September 27th. Rand has told you this is going to happen. We told you Ori was coming to Switch, though we expected the sequel to come to Switch. Do you think that'll happen, Rand, or maybe the first one? Because based off of their quotes they've recently given, they're kind of reducing the amount of games and output on other non-Microsoft platforms.
They really kind of put themselves in a bind if it does, aren't they? Like, statement like, we have no plans of putting any other exclusives anywhere else. And it's like, to me, it's like, okay, the reason to put Ori on the Switch, put Ori 2 on the Switch, unless it's to get the Switch owners really excited about Ori and then make them go to the Xbox ecosystem to play Ori 2. But either way, it's awesome for Switch owners because, and you guys might disagree here, but you already know what I'm going to say. Ori is the best game Microsoft has made this entire generation.
Playground Games just called and they disagree.
Then literally every single PlayStation exclusive except for God of War.
What?
Percent. Of
Rand,
course,
Rand, I need to take that little fangirl cap off of you,
and
sir.
I'm sure somebody in the chat's going to say something. Ori is better than every single Xbox game and better than every single PlayStation exclusive except for God of War.
Jeez,
Rand, it is one of the best
way,
Xbox exclusives
awesome
this generation. Hands down, it really is. I agree with that. I don't agree that it's better than most of the PlayStation games.
Fonz, you were my Red Dead brother, Fonz. It was just
but I'm with you.
It was just me and you. We were the ones cuddling.
Me and you, Fonz.
Here's the thing, though.
Backstab me.
Whoever is like, honestly, look, if Ori. Even Ori 2, if Ori 2 was coming out on the Switch eventually, even if it was day and date, does it really bother you? It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like, I could care less. I play my games where I want to. I don't understand this whole notion of, oh my gosh, my favorite console company is putting their games on another platform. How dare them do this and let other people play that game too? Like, I don't understand that mindset. For me personally, like I said, I buy the consoles I want to buy, and if a game goes somewhere else, hey, have fun with it. I'm going to have fun with it where I want to play it. I don't care where you play it, and I don't care where these companies put their games, as long as I get to play it. That's it. Like,
did you guys just see the chat light up when they finally heard what I was saying? Look at that. Nobody takes one person's opinion seriously. Like the people, oh my God, an Xbox game better than a PlayStation exclusive? I'm losing my mind. Look at that. And I literally said it was my personal opinion.
Yeah. You brought all the rats out of hiding, is what you did,
Rand. Allowed to have opinions.
Yeah.
You brought all them rats out of the bushes, Rand. Why'd you do that for? What's your problem, Randall? I think you're a fraud for saying that. I mean, I agree with him. Attack Rand. Go to Rand's channel and attack him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Remedy is a great developer dealer. Boom.
Yeah.
Remedy hasn't made a great game in fucking 20 years. 20 years, Randall.
When have they ever made a great game?
Sorry, I don't agree on the Remedy thing. I just don't. I never will.
I love Ori. You know I love Ori, so
but yeah, to say it's better than every PlayStation, I think you're on crack on that one. But hey, everyone has their day. I do like Ori though. Ori is a quality game, but it is not even of the same caliber. It's not even on the same level in terms of production or any of that stuff. It's a great game for what it is, but I don't do it. Noof Nukem, quick! Oh my God, Noof, you're doing raps in the super chat now, brother. He's
you better read that shit.
He says, my name is Jeff Keighley. I wax my lips for okay, I can't read this, Noof. I'm not gonna do it. It's one soundbite away from someone else trying to run and say, do you really mess with this guy? He called someone a bitch face, so I can't do that. I'm sorry, Noof. I'm sure it's great though. Everyone in the chat, feel free to read that. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this back to where it needs to be, because Ori is going to Switch, right? We just talked about the Wisps potentially coming to Switch in the future. Looking like that may not happen, but this is where we really got some interesting stuff for you guys. And by the way, over 700 people watching, guys. Hit that like button. Let's try to get over 300 for the end of the show. I'm sure we'll smash that. Let's try to get over 1,000 for the end of the show. You guys rock. Share this free share things. Microsoft have come out, and again, this is satisfying because we've been telling people, stop freaking the fuck out, getting so emotional, thinking all these games are coming everywhere until it happens, because this has been said for decades now, right? So Microsoft, speaking to gamesindustry.biz, this is the real fucking deal. All right, they say, as these new studios transitioned, we were aware of some pre-existing obligations to other platforms, and we will honor those. However, going forward, these new studios will focus on making games for our platforms. We have no plans to further expand our exclusive first-party games to other consoles. We continue to believe deeply in cross-play and progression of games with the right flexibility for developers to ensure fair and fun experiences. That is Microsoft, gamesindustry.biz. That one quote crushes so many months of so much bullshit that I've heard on YouTube. I feel like no one else is as satisfied with this as I am. What the fuck is you guys' problem? Come on.
But then you got Ori going to the Switch, though. Isn't that kind of...
That's a pre-existing obligation, though.
Ori's pretty old at this point in time. And even if Ori 2 was to go on the Switch, it wouldn't be day and day. It'd be like a year later. And it would make sense at that point. It would be exhausted on the Xbox platform. Give it over to the Nintendo guys that would appreciate that game as well. And they don't really get games like that on their platform, so they would buy it. So it has to make sense, right?
You talk about making sense, but making sense is a business making money. And at the end of the day, I know a lot of people get mad when you say that. Oh, why do you care about their money? It's not that I care about their money, but the businesses care about their money. So, of course, they're going to put their games wherever they want.
But this is where it doubles back. And this is why I said this in my video about Matt Booty's interview. You have things like Game Pass to thank for this. They need software for their services, man.
Of course you
So
do.
the very same thing that people are saying could kill the industry is literally powering the investment in new software.
It's just like saying, you hear the thing about, oh, well, Game Pass is just going to have a bunch of shovelware. Well, how are you going to sell a service with a bunch of shovelware? That makes no business sense at all. So it's ridiculous to even think. And if you look at Game Pass, it's not all shovelware. Definitely not.
No, not at all. There's a whole list of amazing games.
I think this is a bit of impatience. I know I've heard a lot of people talk about how, Outer Worlds is going to go to every platform. So we're going to wait 75 years for the next, Obsidian game, or this person's making another one. Why didn't we buy those games up and keep them off every platform? It didn't make sense to do that, people. And we have a lot of games coming into Game Pass from Xbox Studios. Like, I'm sorry to break, we're having the biggest game this year coming in 2.5 weeks? Gears of War looks like the biggest game and probably the best game coming out this year to me. So I don't get why everybody's so up in arms about it. It's been known that they said we're going to meet these obligations that they had, and then after that, they're probably going to just make games for Xbox platforms. Even the studio heads at these new studios said it. Ninja Theory even said it. Like, to our fans that were on other platforms, we're going to be exclusively making things for Xbox. Like, they said that in their 5-minute video. Sorry, I don't understand why this is a big fucking deal. Like, how much more do you need these people to say something? Like, I'm sorry, a lot of people say, oh, I think Xbox executives should shut up on Twitter. Well, you keep asking them fucking questions that they've answered. And you keep asking them the same question because I don't know why. You just don't get it? Like, what's going on?
It comes down to people listening, I guess, to the wrong people that are constantly fear-mongering about this, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's common sense. Matt Booty said it himself, but he said, I guess. Yeah, he's the fucking head of the snake, right? He makes the decisions. He's basically saying that in an interview sense, look, I guess that's the route we're going to go. Everyone uses that terminology, right? It's not that hard to understand, Zauker. I don't know, man. I'm just, once again,
everything an executive says gets really tiresome. And just understanding, what Fawn said, business, it's just business etiquette. They work for Xbox. They're under Microsoft's umbrella. They're going to make stuff for that platform. We're going to all get it on Game Pass, and it's going to be fucking amazing. It's not gonna be on PlayStation.
Just to re-clarify, they say, however, going forward, these new studios will focus on making games for our platforms. We had no plans to further expand our exclusive first-party games to other consoles. Right?
Pretty definitive.
I mean, what do you think about that, D? I mean, why is it so hard for people to understand?
I don't know. Just this generation, Xbox is just getting its lumps. It's just basically the trolls. I don't know. You have it out the horse's mouth, yet they're saying, it's untrue, and it's kind of frustrating at this point. But it is what it is, and we're not going to see a lot of those games on other platforms. Some games will make sense, little smaller titles, but the majority, and especially the AAA games, they're going to be on the Xbox platform or in Microsoft's ecosystem on PC, through Game Pass, whatnot. But you're not going to see them on other consoles.
You're looking at the small titles on multiple devices and the big games. Even like Matt Booty says, he wants to make Outer Worlds 2 a big franchise that is exclusive to their ecosystem. The big games on Xbox, little indie games from maybe some of their studios, they'll put it on things like the Switch, right? That makes sense, right, Wilmy? Right, Wilmy?
Sorry, I had to turn the mic back on. Yeah, they'll. They should. It would make more business sense. They can hit a bigger install base, more money, and that's exactly what they're after. So
nice and simple.
Nice. You just got to look at big games like Minecraft or something like that, where especially like Minecraft Dungeons. I don't know. That's probably going to go everywhere because Minecraft is such a world-renowned franchise that it should be on everything because they're going to make a fuck ton of money off of everything. That's what they're going to do. Plus, Minecraft's already on PlayStation. It's already on every freaking thing. It's on my phone, my toaster. You can play it anywhere.
What kind of fucking toaster? You got a badass toaster, man.
I do got a badass toaster. I think it can do anything.
All right, well, make it read the super chat.
Where the fuck's the super chat? It scrolled by.
Forkboy Gaming. Forkboy Gaming. Shout out to him. He's a Twitch streamer. He says Gears of War 5 and Game Pass is brilliant. Get the Ultimate Edition for $15. Makes people want to, or at least a thought of buying an Xbox. And you are 100% right. Now, would you believe it, Forkboy, if I told you that when Game Pass Ultimate was $1, people found that as a negative. They thought that was a bad thing. They thought them saving money and getting more was a bad thing. That's how ridiculous this community is, man. Thanks for the super chat. We've
They
also
don't
got
understand how business works with sales like that. That's just to get them in the door, people. Like this is common practice for businesses. I don't understand why it's weird. It just go ahead.
Hey, Axel says, I'm just here waiting for Deal to stop busting my balls, waiting to talk about Gears 5. We will talk about Gears 5, man. That trailer was fucking legit. I talked to Aaron Greenberg. I DM'd Aaron Greenberg about this, and I don't know. They're happy. They're happy with this. So at the end of the day, guys, it is what it is. We kind of had a lot of stuff on our chest about this because it's something we've been telling people. You notice if we've been telling people something for a while and people say we're crazy or lying about stuff that's common fucking sense, we tend to rant, or I tend to rant about this shit. So my bad. Anyway, again, that
I want to say one more thing.
Go
Somebody it flew by in the chat. I don't know who the fuck said it. He said Xbox is going third party. Good luck with that. Something like that.
Oh my god.
First of all, guys, we literally just got over a topic where Sony said they're bringing some of their games to PC. I mean, are they third party now? Is it over? Like, you got to understand, just look at this differently. That's the whole point. And I'm going to give you a quote from Sony CEO from a couple of months ago. He literally says,
link that bitch in the chat too.
He said, in this respect, for the time being, the console as something that brings about computing functionality to users is very important. But on the other hand, technology will progress. And so, as I said today, the remote play and PlayStation Now, the streaming services, will be worked on in parallel. That is what we are doing at this moment. So streaming service, game, everything coming to PC or on every device is going to be just as important as the console to them.
That's not even the best quote. Like, the best quote is them literally saying, we're planning for a post-console world and all this stuff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and that's just one of the quotes. Exactly. Look how many quotes are out there.
But hey, you don't even have to go to Sony quotes. You could have just quoted what Matt Booty just said about the Xbox, and directly. They're not looking to put their games on other consoles. It's ridiculous.
They're going third party.
Play devil's advocate for 2 seconds.
I hate it when Rand does this.
Get out of here, Rand. I'm joking.
I like it, Rand.
Now, they said they have no plans. But as we all know, dealer, plans change.
Do you really want to even throw that out there, knowing how fucking idiotic some of these people are and that we'll run with that?
I'm just saying, it was devil's advocate, bro.
Well, I hate devil's advocate. I like Al Pacino. That's a great movie. But I'm not a big fan of Randall Thor trying to play Al Pacino.
You got people out here.
You invited me on the podcast.
Randall, I'm obviously exaggerating.
You invited me.
Hey, shout out to Matt Burns.
You say something like that, Rand, but you got guys out here who actually care about which console wins a race. Like they actually care about this as an adult.
They're man children. They're babies. Nobody should take them seriously.
And it's called being dicks for clicks.
All right, well, let's not talk about penises, sir.
Wow.
All right.
Talk about some of the people online.
Listen, if you guys want, just to understand, people in some communities, if you want to really understand how lost they are, they think more people are going to be happy to pay $60 for a game than Game Pass because they think it'll bring class or it's higher end, and so that's why they would want to buy a PlayStation because that $60 is great. Because they
I buy a PlayStation because of the games. That's it. I don't buy a PlayStation because of what anybody else has to say about it. I don't give a damn about that.
Well, I mean, if only everybody was in that amazing, Fonz, really.
No, I think a lot of gamers are that amazing, and it's just that there's a tiny little, segment of the community that has a very loud voice.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I got to give a shout out to almost 800 watching already. I guess we're not even halfway through. We do appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button, share this place. It really helps a lot. You guys are fantastic. Let's move on to the next topic, and this will be a super quick one before we get into some of the meaty stuff here, Randall. XO19, real quick, London, November 14th. For those that happen to give a damn, that's where and when it will be. Rand, is there any kind of information on what they're going to show here aside from, someone's going to be there and Phil's going to be there and they're going to bring donuts?
Nothing yet. I mean, Matt Booty's going to be there, Phil's going to be there, Aaron Greenberg is going to be there. I'm going to say they're going to announce the acquisition of 2 new studios.
Think so?
And yeah, I don't know what else they're.
I mean, didn't they learn anything from Insomniac?
Matter.
I mean, if there's an event, you might as well announce them, right?
Microsoft marches to their own drummer, just like Nintendo and PlayStation. They all do their own things, their own ways. Other than that, I don't know.
What studios you think they're going to announce?
Idea. Absolutely no clue.
CD Projekt Red.
Gun Media.
Oh, come on.
CD
Announced they
Projekt
bought
Red
Rockstar North
and Naughty Dog.
and I don't know. At least one studio. As for like games they show, it's tough because like they're gonna have to really go out for E3 2020. You know, with against the PlayStation 5 and Sony. So I can't really imagine a lot. Maybe Ninja Theory's like Hellblade Team's game, but other than that, I really don't know.
I think for E3, I don't want to, I'll be honest, at next E3, I don't really care to hear about studios. I want to see the games. I want to see new shit they're going to announce. I want to see some crazy shit. I think at XO, announce a studio or two, but after that, it's fucking go time.
Yeah, I'll just be 100%. Like, I know there's going to be big games there this year. There's no way there can't be. Because if there's not, X-Sluts really will be on Suicide Watch, right? Hey, HR Bomber, real quick. HR Bomber in the chat says, if you thought Gamescom was huge, just wait for XO19. That is from Aaron Greenberg. So, I don't know, man. Phil told us there was going to be 14 different games and all this stuff last E3. I'm taking all this shit with a big-ass football-sized grain of salt. Going forward, man.
Okay, so, I'm just wondering what color controller they're going to bring with them. I'm wondering if they're going to match Sony with a rose gold controller. That'd be real nice.
Fonz, you know you got that rose gold. Come on. Matches your little phone.
Seriously.
He bought it twice.
What kind of, like that's the kind of stuff I expect at these XO events. Like, controllers, because we're sure is.
Well, I mean, last year's XO was actually pretty good, man. If that Obsidian thing didn't leak out, that would have been fucking huge. Like, I'm sorry.
But it wasn't. That's the problem. It did leak out. It wasn't. There was no huge XO last year, in my opinion.
And people asking some weird ass questions.
You wonder why the Obsidian thing
Kind of
leaked
socks
out.
you wear.
Hey, how long's your fucking middle toe?
I don't know. It depends if I cut my nails.
Yeah, we obviously don't talk about certain things on the show, like politics or religion. People come here to get away from that shit. All right, so it's
the
one
only
of those.
religion we have here is Xbox, bitch.
Okay, that was a little cultist like, but
Never mind.
I was gonna soundbite that.
Sorry. Yeah. Soundbite that.
Yeah, you deserve that one, Zelker. You're a fucking fraud.
I don't give a fuck.
Yep. You're getting called out
Hey,
on Twitter.
let's move forward, right? XO is what it is. Expect some things. Gamescom 2019, no news blowout, starting with Need for Speed Heat.
What the?
So, did you guys hear? Did you watch the Need for Speed Heat trailer? They've even had like 20 minutes of gameplay today. I think that comes out November 2019. Rand, I know you love Need for Speed Payback. What do you think about this one?
If I love, you mean absolutely hate, and yes, I loved it very much so. I'm not really interested in it, but I'll probably end up buying it and playing it because that's what I do.
Guys, we're not going to talk about Need for Speed for long. I don't think anybody wants that. We don't wish that on our worst enemies.
I think we're done with it now.
No.
Moving on.
We're done. Moving on to the next game.
I do have to say one thing about it though. It reminds me more of an Underground or a Most Wanted game, and that's a good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But visually, for me, it wasn't speaking to me, to be honest with you.
It wasn't.
I don't know if I'm spoiled for Forza or whatnot, but it just really didn't.
I mean, Need for Speed was the GOAT when there was no competition. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Like, I'll have it because I have EA access, so automatically I'll play it, right? But it's not something I'm looking forward to. I'm just going to play it just because.
But hey, just because D-Bash hates the game doesn't mean everyone else has got to, though, right?
I know. I was shocked about the way it looked, too. I didn't think it was that visually impressive. I was
not at all.
Yeah. That's what took me, kind of by surprise, because it's a racing game. Like,
Shoguns with the comment of the day.
But you get an app. You can go ahead and create your vehicles, though.
You could create your vehicles. You could put some parts on. And they did confirm in the trailer, this is how stupid the last game was. In Payback, you didn't even have upgrade parts. You put in fucking playing cards to upgrade your car. Now, what part of whose brain at Ghost Studio thought that people that want to play a Need for Speed upgrade customization-based game are going to want to fucking use Yu-Gi-Oh cards to do so? Like, what?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah. Like, who's going to want to throw some playground? Yeah, fuck you. I got a better exhaust. Throw the card on the table. Like, I don't understand. like, whose idea was this, right? Okay, well, fuck you, Rand. You don't got anything to say? All right.
Yeah, people complaining I'm talking too much, so I'm going to let Little Soccer talk.
What? Who's complaining you're talking too much?
Why are you coming at me right now, Rand?
I think we should just move along to the next topic.
All right, well. just know anybody who's a fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the last Need for Speed, they're not there, okay? I'm getting all kinds of notifications. D9X just messaged me on Xbox. What's going on, brother? Sorry, I can't read it right now. So we do have, like I said, Need for Speed. I might, depending on how bored I am, might get it. And that's a very fucking big if. PUBG, real quick. And we got so much stuff to get through. We're not going to spend too much time on anything in particular. We're just going to give you the rundown. We'll get to gears and all the great stuff as well. Crossplay in Season 4 update. Rand, you're a big PUBG player. You got some friends that are pretty good at it. They carry you on a book bag. What do you think?
Dealer.
And I ask you when you're okay, just tell me this. When you crawl into someone's book bag in PUBG and you're on the back and you're shooting, how do you feel about the news from Season 4?
When I'm in Magic's backpack, I feel powerful.
His little legs dangling.
He's the only one I'll say that he carries me. The other ones, not so much. But this is good. I like the crossplay thing.
What else coming to Season 4?
They redid Erangel a little bit, so that's coming. Other than that, it's just like a new season pass like they do for Fortnite. But the bigger news is like console. Like, remember, don't forget, this was another thing that everybody said that never was going to happen, crossplay between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
You're telling me that's happening, Rand?
Remember when all the Sony guys were like, never, 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 and then Fortnite did it. Rocket League is now doing it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is going to have it day one. Here's PUBG. It's going to become industry standard eventually. Like Bungie already said they're looking into it with Destiny 2. More games are just going to have crossplay. It's kind of that wall seems to be knocked down now.
Awesome.
People are like, PUBG, let's move on. In the chat, they're like,
yeah.
Hey, to be fair, the Season 4 update, the graphics did get an overhaul. It does look a lot better, and hopefully, it'll run better. I'll probably jump back in for the Season 4, but the crossplay's huge. Come on, that is huge. You got bragging rights, Xbox crews against PlayStation crews. I think this is a great thing for gamers. It's a good topic.
Hey, I gotta give a shout out to Lady Foxfire. I know there was a great divide in this community long ago, but that divide is hopefully gone, and I've always liked Lady Foxfire. She's always been really nice. So if you want to come on the show anytime, just let me know. I did send you a Discord invite on Twitter a while back. I don't know if you lit that on fire. If you met it, you might have accepted it. I don't know. Just let me know. And I'd like to have you on sometime. But let's go ahead and move forward on the topic here. Need for Speed, of course, PUBG. We got Little Nightmares 2. Rand, I know I am calling on you a lot. Fuck you. I'm going to Fonzarelli because I know he's never played Little Nightmares 1.
Nope.
All right. Zalker, see, that's the problem, Rand. You're the only person on this panel that plays as many games as I do. Maybe Wilmy Hood. I don't know.
I played Inside, though. Is it just as good?
No, I mean, it's good, but long story short, if you liked Little Nightmares 1, you'll probably like Little Nightmares 2. It looks like they got some combat in there now, right?
Cool.
It's coming. Metro Exodus DLC, that comes out today, right? So if you haven't checked that out, maybe check that out. Wasteland 3 trailer. Let us know in the chat. I'm curious. I like to get the opinion of everyone watching the show. Let me know what you guys think. But Wasteland 3, I played Wasteland 2 on Game Pass. That game is old as hell.
Don't play it.
The new one looks much better. I'm going to give it a shot. Let me know if you're going to try this when it comes out. It's not for everyone. It won the RPG award at Gamescom for the best RPG. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like they posted that. I retweeted, and the whatever the CEO or whatever the head of the studio posted that out, saying, "Yeah, we won the RPG of Gamescom." So,
hey, Bad Seed, message me on Twitter, Bad Seed. I'll get you another one. So they won best RPG, Zalker, right?
Yep, that's what it said. Yeah, that's what he posted, and so that I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It has an old school feel to it. Somebody asked me on Twitter, should I go play 1 and 2? I was like, fuck no, those games look trash. Like they look like crap. Like you're just not gonna want to play that. It's just so old that you're kind of like, ugh. Just wait for the third one. It looks a lot better, and yeah, I want to see what they do with it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
NASCAR saying he's gonna play it. Great School Zero is definitely going to try it out as well.
I give Dealer like 2 hours on that game.
Well, I mean, I like strategy-based games. It just depends on the controls and stuff. They brought that forward, but I mean, it looks interesting. It definitely fills a niche. It's all about variety of games, right? That's something I heard a lot about the PlayStation. It has a lot of variety if you're into, certain things, you probably find it over there, right? So that's something Microsoft are looking to do. So Wasteland 3, you've also got Greedfall, which looked interesting. That's coming out September 10th. I can't explain what this game really is to you. Can anybody Rand, do you remember what this game looks like or anything? Can you explain it? What do you know about it?
It looks like an RPG from Spiders. Honestly, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Mass Effect and like the early Mass Effects, but not with like obviously the cover-based shooting. It looks kind of like a mid-tier, like I don't know, like I'm actually kind of intrigued by it.
I mean, it looked like it was running well, and that led me to believe, like, what's this running on? And it looked like it was 60 FPS.
And I know it's not full price. It's $50. I believe it's from Focus Home Interactive. They published A Plague's Tale from Asobo. This is Spiders.
That was a good game.
I believe Spiders is the one who always used to do the Sherlock Holmes games, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but it definitely has my interest. Like, I've liked some of what I've seen in the combat. It kind of gives me like a Dragon Age vibe almost.
That's exactly what Farkas in the chat just said. He said it reminds him of Dragon Age.
Yeah, it kind of does.
A little bit. So, it comes out September 10th. Right around Gears. Also, right around Borderlands. It's really a tough time to check out smaller games, especially when the bigger games are out. But I'll see if I can fit that game into my busy schedule, dealer.
Your busy schedule?
Maybe make a video about
you like watch the dog? You gotta walk the dog and shit, and you might try it or what?
Just saying, there's just so many games coming out. Like next week, there's like 4, and then Gears and Borderlands come out. Is like there's just all of a sudden you go from no games to literally every game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of a tidal wave, right? Just a tsunami of games fucking smashing into your face. Speaking of, my fucking cat is playing with this thing in the background.
So is mine. I just had to like put her out.
Wreckfest comes out next week as well. We've also got Blair Witch on the 30th, correct? Blair Witch released a new trailer, and I did a poll what people were looking forward to over the next couple weeks. It was Wreckfest, it was Blair Witch, and there was another one. Oh, Control. And Blair Witch won that damn poll. Thousands of votes. Blair Witch was the most anticipated D-Batch. Why do you think that is? Like, have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, I don't know. Blair Witch was such a cult classic, the original movie that came out. So I don't know if it's a lot of people that were into that movie that really want to get this game, or it's just the niche for a scary kind of action kind of game. I'm not quite sure.
I just don't think
I'm looking forward to Control. I'm gonna play Blair Witch, but I'm kind of looking forward to Control more so. But you know what? The masses has spoken, so it is what it is, I guess.
I guess. I mean, I didn't agree with the masses, but that's okay.
Did you guys see the IGN videos, like 8 minutes of their people working at IGN playing Blair Witch and them getting like they're just scared shitless, like yelling, like pop scares, all that? It was pretty cool. Like the game actually looked okay.
Did they sound like you when you were playing Resident Evil 2 in a party?
I remember that
bitch that fell out of the damn locker. Fuck.
That was
the best part of the game. I think everybody just wants to play it so they can play the Snake game on the cell phone within the game. So,
hey, NASCAR says there's a 30-minute demo. Where is that demo? Is that out?
Yeah, it's the demo is on. There's an outside Xbox demo on that YouTube channel.
No, I mean like I took it as, hey, you can download a 30-minute demo and play Blair Witch right now, but maybe I took it the wrong way. No. He says Blair Witch has a 30-minute demo. I'm guessing he means on YouTube. My bad, NASCAR.
Yeah, it's the YouTube guys. They had 30 minutes, and it was it had like little shades of like Resident Evil to me, dealer. Like when you would go and there would be like a lock, and you're kind of like you're trying to figure it out. And you're like, wait, I can't figure this out. And you go and you look in a drawer, and it'll have like a hint of how to unlock the lock, kind of thing. Kind of like that. Resident Evil had little things like that. So it was weird.
It reminds me a lot of like Outlast. Like those type of games, and I'm just not into them. They're not my type of game.
Well, one of the cool mechanics in the game was you have like an old school like video recorder, and so you use the video recorder to go through the home and see things that you can't see with the naked eye. So like on the wall it says "Don't look," right? Like that's what one of the IGN guys says, "Don't look," and then as you put the camera, there's like a person in front of you in the hall, but you can't see them with the naked eye unless you put the camera there. So it was creepy as shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty cool.
Well, you know what the best part is, Zalker?
It's in Game Pass.
Yeah. Which, means it's a piece of shit, right? Who knows?
No,
I mean, maybe it
that's
could come out and it will be we don't know. That's the thing, but it's
No.
got good hype behind it. I want to remind everybody it's made by the same people as Layers of Fear. So that's why I'm kind of keeping my expectations in check.
Here's the thing about that. The fact that, it's not my type of game, but I will definitely try it because it's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So let's go ahead and that's a lot of time for Blair Witch. Let's go ahead and move forward past Blair Witch to Zalker. Yeah, you're probably the only motherfucker in here that's gonna play this. I know some people in the chat will. I mean, keep in mind, just because I'm talking shit don't mean that you can't enjoy this. But Gears Pop comes out August 22nd.
Hell yeah.
Zalker, I know you're gonna be playing this 24/7.
I don't have any phone game I play, bro, so I'm kind of excited to have a game to actually play. And I just got like a thank you message for watching Gamescom on Mixer, and they're giving me Gears Pop packs in Gears Pop. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know. I like Gears.
What do
Gears
you
is my
know
favorite
about
franchise.
it? What gameplay model does it take after? I know it kind of
forgot the
replicates
game.
something.
It's
Clash of
kinda like you
Clans or
just-
something. I mean, what is it?
No, I don't know if it's like Clash of Clans. It's like a game where it's like tower defense, but you keep setting bodies at a tower and you're facing another person. So you keep setting like gears and you use special weapons, you use special like locust enemies and stuff to kind of break down their defenses and keep going as they're doing the same thing to you. So you got to manage your resources. It's something like that. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I want to play it. I can't wait to play it. I like Gears in general, so I thought this was kind of like a cool little thing. And fuck it, like who cares? It's just a game on the phone. Go play it. Go check it out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then whatever. There's a jillion other games you can play.
I mean, they just contracted a different little team to kind of do this.
Yeah.
It's usually in the mobile space, but they're kind of in charge of quality control. So that's out this month.
And I like they didn't concentrate on it a lot.
Robert Griffin being messy in the chat. I ain't touching it. Let's go ahead. We've already talked that to death, and then we squashed it.
Let's go to the big things. Come
Yeah,
on.
let's go ahead and let's move on to Gears 5. And now I want to run through this list real quick, and then we can kind of discuss these things. Please chat, let us know your thoughts as we go. Horde mode was debuted at Gamescom. This Horde mode does include ultimate, so every character has a special ability no matter what class you're playing. You can play as Kate, you can stealth, you can play as Foz and see through walls. Everyone's got an ultimate. The Berserker seems to be back as well. They showed that, I do believe, in that trailer. They've got energy traps, so you're forced to move position in Horde now to maintain the most energy. Jackbot is a fully playable character with his own abilities and upgrades. The game is accessible for new players because it's in Game Pass, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy for veterans. There are difficulties for a reason. Much like any racing game, you can go from the car drives itself to holy fuck, I can't stop. Also, they went behind the scenes on the Xbox One X Special Edition console. Was really cool. They also confirmed Halo Reach characters are coming to Gears 5. Emil and Kat will be there, so that's interesting as well. And we'll get to the story trailer after the Horde stuff. But real quick with the Horde stuff, I mean, Fonz, you probably aren't into this. I probably came to the worst person ever, but
yes, you did.
Okay.
I'm not into
Why'd you do that?
Tell you, I don't. Zonker, I'm trying to avoid asking you anything else after that Gears Pop thing.
Stab you. All right.
That's deep.
D-Batch, there's no benchmark for Horde.
How much are you gonna benchmark Horde, D?
I over the weekend at AMD's event, they did have a Horde mode demo for Gears 5, so I did get to play it a bit, and it was fun. It was fun. The graphics looked great. Horde mode's one of everybody's favorite modes in the game, anyways, and I like the new additions that they added to it. So, I can't wait to try it out. To be honest with you guys,
it ran nice and crispy smooth. Zakar, okay, you're a Horde whore. What do you think about this?
I think it's awesome. I think that the ultimates bring a different dynamic to the game. The Berserker, like seeing that was freaking awesome. You know, a lot of people want that to come back. And they said they're going to add more characters, I believe, instead with different ultimates and stuff. So it does change the dynamic of the game and the map and the way you play with depending on which character you pick. So I really like that. And you can like basically use and customize those cards from the beginning of a game. So like one game you'll do this to try it out, and another game you'll put a different card. So I like that. It adds a lot of strategy to it. I really enjoy doing Horde mode. Me and Dealer did it like a month or two ago, or a month and a half ago, and we played the shit out of it. That's just the type of Horde mode is the type of mode that I just keep coming back to with Gears because I really just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. It requires a lot of strategy. and it becomes overwhelming. And I just really enjoy it, and it runs extremely smooth. So I can't wait to see this.
And for those that don't know,
the
the current Horde mode in Gears 4, there is a 60 FPS. You can get that on the X. You go into the advanced options and put that on performance, and that Horde mode actually holds 60 pretty well. Leo in the chat says, keep in mind there are more than one type of Berserker in the game. Yeah, I kind of noticed that. And I had predicted that they were going to bring Berserkers back as well, so that's really good. Berserkers were, if you go back and play Gears Ultimate, that game had a little bit of a chill to it because of that Berserker battle, and the rest of the franchise never really had much else like it. So it's really cool they're bringing that back. With Horde, I'm excited as well, man. I'm a Horde fan. It'll be running at 60 FPS on the X as well on Gears 5. It's always been a good time. It's one of the best defensive game modes there are, and I can't wait for it. Now, when it comes to the story trailer, this is the thing that we had asked for, and obviously the addition of Halo Reach characters and all that. I don't know much about those two characters, but if you like that kind of stuff, it's really cool. It's in there. With the story trailer, this is the thing we had asked for after E3. I wanted a gameplay demo where they sit there and play through the game a little bit. They decided not to go that route. We were disappointed. And over the next several weeks, and I said this on Twitter, over the next several weeks, I heard people just constantly doom and gloom in this game. There's a reason they're hiding it. There's a reason they're hiding it. Something's wrong. And then there's no proof, obviously. No, I'm not throwing shade at people who message me this, but trust me, it gets old, man, because I'm just not that type of person. I wait for Gamescom after they announce story stuff is coming. They show this trailer, and there's probably no other Gears trailer ever before launch that shows more in the campaign than this one. More diversity in terms of the environments, the different bosses and monsters and guns and the skiff on snow and set pieces. I mean, what could they be hiding, Fonz? Like, did you like the story trailer? Did you watch the re-upload when it was 4K 60 FPS on the Xbox YouTube channel? God damn it,
right
Fonz.
On. Yeah.
See,
I rewatched
this is why I come to Rand. He's the only dependable one. What do you think?
I wanted to hear what Fonz had to say.
I know.
What?
Well, sorry, I was in the other room getting some ice cream.
No, I had to step away a minute. I had to see what my daughter just came home, so I just had to.
Gears 5 trailer. Were you surprised? Were all the doubters put down? What was going on?
Were all the doubters put down? I don't know what there is to really doubt about Gears. For me, it was just that I wanted to see, and I didn't really even get that. I mean, I want to see more gameplay, but I mean, the trailer was great for what it was. It was pretty good looking, smooth. It's just, it was a beautiful trailer. But the thing is like, I know what it is. It's Gears, man. Like, I want to play the game. I'm done like looking at trailers now. Like, we're already past the point of, oh, I have to see gameplay now. I have to see gameplay because you know what? It's going to be here next week and a half, whatever.
Like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be here before we know it, man. So like, it is what it is, man. The trailer was fine. It was great. I don't see how people could naysay the trailer at all. It was solid.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Wilmy Hood, Gears trailer. I'm sure you saw some of the bullshit out there. Do you think this trailer kind of shut people down? Is there anything left to doubt as of right now?
Not to me, no. I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it for a very long time. So, and I don't care what anybody says. I am on it day one.
Coltrane and the giant mech. Yes, that's correct. He was in the
fun is, bitch.
Gerald in the chat. Yes, Coltrane and the giant mech. A lot of that stuff's coming back. I thought the trailer was interesting, man. So much stuff to digest, and I want to go through it like frame by frame because I feel like you could miss a lot of things. Like I didn't like the camera angle they showed Kate like on the snowboard type thing. I feel like they should have made all that look a little bit more cinematic instead of getting up close and at the wonky angle. But at the end of the day, man, like that stuff is some of what we wanted to see. And they did confirm what we've been saying for quite a while. If you remember watching this show for a long time, we've been saying Gears of War is great, but there's not much of a difference between the first one and the fourth one. They should do something different here. They should expand it. They should add customization. They should make it semi-open world or open world in a way. They should add even like a side mission system. I could get behind a lot of systems in Gears with all those mechanics. And with this skiff, I'm not exactly sure where you're driving to or from, but it's kind of pointing towards that open world type of thing. That looked really cool, man. You actually got to see them driving this thing at a weird angle, but I don't know. It's a lot of new stuff, man. It's a lot of new stuff to kind of take in.
It kind of reminded me, honestly, of Mortal Kombat's story trailer that they had before the game came out a couple months ago. And that Mortal Kombat story trailer was fucking awesome. Like, I remember getting so hyped for it. And Rand's the one that told me about it. He's like, watch this trailer for Mortal Kombat. And it got me really ready for the game. And then Gears, it felt like they'd hit that. They kind of learned from that. They kind of saw them and were like, that's a really good trailer. So they did the same thing. They put 9 Inch Nails on there. Fucking love 9 Inch Nails. So they just hit every beat. And then, like, if you listen to like the lyrics and you see what's said on the freaking, like, where they put the text up, everything, it's like, you know, I don't know, it hints a lot of what the story's doing. Like, I'd rather die than be controlled. Like, it just sounds like there's a lot of manipulation in the story. I don't know, man. There's a lot of hints in there that just really get me hyped for the story. I want to see where it goes. Marcus looks like an understanding person. Like he does. Like, he's like understanding to Kate. Like
he's been like through dad therapy.
Yeah, like he's like, no, not even that therapy. Like, he feels like there's something wrong with her, or there's something that they need to find, and he's like super supportive. Like, did you find what you needed? And she's like, yeah, I gotta kill it. He's like, all right. Like,
I like killing shit. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go fucking do that. Like, I don't know, man. And then the areas like the desert with the storm while she's skiffing, and then the snow, everything. Just, I want the goddamn game like right now.
It reminds me. The trailer reminds me of how Microsoft used to market their games on commercials and stuff. And they finally they made a really good trailer, and it like Zucker said, it gets you hyped for the game, and that's exactly what it did. That's what they used to do all the time with their commercials and stuff. And I think that this is just one of those things where it's just a trailer, damn it, but it was good. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is somebody told me, they said, why is like everybody in that universe jacked? I mean, they're all just muscular and
Fonz, just go to the gym and they won't be so jacked. They only look jacked because you're not jacked, man.
Even like the doctor in front of the scene. and it's like, why is everybody so jacked?
The doctor, that was Bard. Come on. Bard. It wasn't just a regular old doctor, Fonz.
Hey, doctor, what's on them cameras? Well, wouldn't you know it, the fucking cameras are going out one by one.
But no, it was a great trailer. Reminded me of old Microsoft when they used to market back in the day. Good stuff.
I don't know why people are surprised by the trailer. All the Gears trailers are always immaculate. But I do hear what you say with this trailer. This does kind of hark back to the Xbox 360 days, at least for me, the way the trailer felt. I think we got some good tidbits of where the story's kind of going. And like you all said, you know, the different environments. But what impressed me was the graphics, man. The graphics were on point. The textures, just the lighting.
Did you check out the 4K upload on Xbox's channel?
Yes, I did. It just looked phenomenal. And I'm so excited for this game. And I'm excited to tell all the naysayers that said the game was going to look like trash or that it wasn't going to be good, that it's going to be.
Isn't that amazing, though, D? I've got to throw this out there because, again, we talked to so many people that like are clueless and they never learn. Me and D like crushed so many people on Twitter that were downgrading these photos, right, and passing around this bullshit and comparing it to PS2 and PS3 games. And we're like, do you really think Gears of War fucking 5 in 2019 is going to look worse than like Metal Gear Solid 3? Really? So we told them that this was a multiplayer beta. It's not going to look entirely worlds different. The main visuals and all the set pieces and all the art design direction is going to come from the campaign. Now, how's it feel to be vindicated, D-Batch?
It feels good, and I got to be vindicated even more when I played the hell out of this game, and
in 60 frames on top of it.
Yeah, and I got to say, it looks so much better than the previous Gears, than Gears 4. It looks so much better, and Gears 4 looked great. But this game, there's a big contrast, at least what I saw from that trailer. I can't wait, man.
Well, I got to give a shout out to Duo Plays, so he doesn't get locked in his dad's basement again. I did save your life there, Duo. No problem. That's what he said. Give me a shout out.
I'm gonna help you transition if everybody's done talking about this.
Well, the transition comes when I make sure that we covered everything with the story trailer. Everyone thought it was great. Covered all the bases. It looked great. Looked like the best ever. Looked like it had the most to offer ever. I think I passed up, or actually, hang on, I didn't pass it up. Kojima piss. Death Stranding gameplay demo.
Yep. Wow.
Now,
that's also a transition too.
Now, for those that watch Gamescom, you know that Death Stranding had a trailer thingy. And it had everything from piss to ghost babies. And I feel like you're lying to me if you tell me you know what the fuck is going on, Randall Thor.
Oh, dealer, I don't know if you know this, but Death Stranding is already one of my favorite games of all time.
So there was an article from DualShockers saying that Death Stranding is already my favorite game of all time, and I haven't even played it. Clearly designed from the outset just to gather attention and clicks, right? First off, Rand, the trailer. What did you love about it?
Love
The
nothing
gameplay
about
demo.
it.
You love nothing about it.
Like the cinematics are well put together. They always are in the Kojima games, right? And I am a person that has been looking forward to playing Death Stranding. However, I will be the first person to say that trailer where you pissed on the ground and a fucking mushroom popped up afterwards, then you pulled out 100-foot ladder out of your ass, climbed up there to meet Jeff Keighley at the drop off.
Pee in my mouth, I'm hungry.
Drop
Fell
off some
off
dildos.
that same mountain and nothing happened. You had to shake a baby to make sure it was okay. That trailer was god awful.
I feel like you're just jealous, Rand.
It was the best thing ever. Come
Are
on,
you mad
man.
that Jeff Keighley was in the game and you're not?
Just say,
You guys
Dude.
are just really, I think, Rand, you're really upset that this game is so innovative that you can't see past your own ass, man.
and
Well-
I've been a Death Stranding supporter, me and Colt. I'm down day one. I can't wait to see what they're doing. But like that, there's no, like say, oh no, it's great. That Kojima's a genius. That trailer was awful, absolutely awful. I hope
Yep.
there's more to the game that they're actually hiding, and this is all smoke and mirrors, and
Well,
like the actual game is something
there is.
completely different. Because
There
if it is,
They showed us. Aside from the ladder just coming out your ass, as you put it, you've got delivering packages, you've got hitting people with briefcases, and you've got peeing. It's got a lot. It's got everything you need. In
It's
the
R.
game.
Kelly's favorite game.
They've showed a lot of shit where that awkward, like you just said, hitting people with briefcases. Do you guys remember that awkward fight where he stops, goes back, and then goes to the right, and the computer's like, "What the hell's happening?" And they dodge, and he runs around again. Like, it's fucking. The game just looks. I don't know. I'm not hyped for this game at all. Like, I can give two fucks about it.
Hey,
Like,
real
honestly,
quick,
you
let me
go-
give a shout out to Beaner real quick. He says, "Man of Medan is based on an actual true story, which is very interesting." He also says, "The best Xbox podcast along with Xbox 2." Thank you very much, man. This Kojima trailer, I tried giving Metal Gear Solid like 6 chances, and then I see a kid in a straitjacket flying around lighting shit on fire or something, and it's hard to keep up because people don't understand that Metal Gear Solid 5, I think, takes place before Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, or vice versa. Like, it's all out of order. It's all jumbled. Like, the first Metal Gear Solid's like not even close to the first one in the franchise, if that makes sense. Like, they jump around so much. There's so much weirdness to it. Now you got magic babies and chest tanks, and European mushrooms are coming up. You're delivering packages to Jeff Keighley, -1 point. And I'm just failing to see what is so appealing about it.
Yeah, I don't see the hype either. Look, the only hype that surrounds this game, and I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm gonna say it. It's because of Kojima. That's it. That's the only reason why people are hyping this game up. If it was any other developer, they'd be laughed off the stage if they showed what he's showing in this game. It's crazy to me. Like, I feel that Kojima is overrated. I've said that forever. Yes, he's brought some innovative things to the industry. He has. Many years ago, he's brought, that cinematic feel to the industry. He's brought that. But aside from that, his games, he's had some good gameplay here and there, but his games make no sense. Like, a lot of them don't. And I get flack for that too. I get people always hitting me up. Oh, his games do make sense. You need to read more about it. It's really good. You just don't understand it. You're not smart enough. I'm sorry, but when you got flying babies in a straitjacket, you've got demons just pouring, hellfire down on you in a hospital while you're trying to crawl out of it. It's just ridiculous. It makes no sense to me. And, I don't know about you guys, but when I play a game and it's, a heavy narrative game, you got to get involved in the story. I want to understand the story. I just don't want to play through it and just go, oh, it's fun. No, I want to understand.
Well, it's a 95 Metafon, so get over it.
Yeah. It will
And
be.
most of the stuff we've seen have been cutscenes. Like, I'm sorry, when it's a game, I want to actually play a game.
All the stuff that people point out, the most interesting stuff that people point out, Zucker, and they're like, well, look, the game obviously can't just be delivering stuff. Look at this. And they show you a cutscene of a monster. Like, I get there's going to be combat in there. There's going to be cool stuff. But I mean, there's obviously some walking and stuff in there as well, right? Zucker.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all we've seen is the ladder come out like 18 times, him walking, deliver something to Jeff Keighley, and then fall off a cliff and just act like nothing happened. Like, that's literally what we saw. Like, I don't even know why they even brought this out. But I haven't seen a lot of combat. They haven't shown the combat. Are they trying to keep it for some reason?
They've shown a little bit of it. I mean, there's some briefcase combat.
Yeah, some briefcase combat, and then he got on a motorcycle, and hopefully it doesn't drop to 2 frames.
That motherfucker's doing a wheelie in the grass on a motorcycle, like Fast and Furious style.
And like, that's the thing. Like, the terrain to me was like, I thought there was going to be so much terrain, but it all looks the same. Like, every clip I've seen, he's in the same terrain. He's doing the same thing with the ladders. He's still delivering shit. Like, that's all he's doing. And I don't care. Like, I genuinely do not care about the story because I don't know what the fuck's going on. He's giving me no connection.
But because it's Kojima, Game of the Year.
And that's the thing. Like, and that's actually a transition I want to talk about. Like, we just talked about Gears that, to me, potentially can be a contender for Game of the Year. Yet people are going to say Kojima is one. Like,
I think the way the game looks, the graphic is
the Decim engine is doing work, right?
Yeah, the appeal of it fits a certain niche audience within the PlayStation core, where they just like stuff that looks pretty. You know, some of the gamers are shallow, and you know, if it looks good, that's it. That's enough for them.
Well, I mean, what do you think, D? I mean,
well, the game looks fantastic. I'll say that it looks fantastic, but like you all said, it's a bunch of walking. All I see is a UPS Purelator training simulator, really. And the action scenes that we do see, they don't make sense. Like, I'm watching them, you know, the lady say, "Oh, this is my baby. I'm its mother, and it's in another dimension.
It's an interdimensional baby."
Now you know why I can't leave, and like, it makes no sense. Like how could she even see the damn baby? She doesn't even have the machine on her. Like, what's going on? And like, why is that baby fucking floating there? And
all right, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, D-Batch. Let's say that maybe you just need all the context that you'll find out in the game. Would it appeal to you then if you knew why the magic baby is flying around and all this shit?
Yeah, if it made sense. Because I guess if we were to watch The Matrix in like chunks and pieces, it wouldn't make sense either. So if he can tie it all together that it's coherent in the first 20 to 30 minutes, then yeah.
I feel like
if
good luck.
If it's gonna be really
that.
Like this throughout the game, then I don't know, man.
You said if it's coherent within the first 30 minutes, then that's not Kojima, man. You have to read like the Kojima Bible before you play the game. You have to read
Bonds, why are you hating?
After, you know, that's how Kojima games are. Like, they're really just crazy, man. And I'm gonna play the game, don't get it twisted. I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna be brutally honest. If it's just horse crap, I'm gonna come out and say it and say the story makes no sense. This is total just horse crap. And I won't finish it. You know, if it's really that bad, I won't finish it. I didn't finish Metal Gear 5 because it was just so out there and just stupid.
I'm gonna go on a limb and pull a rant here. You know, Ori's better than God of War, or whatever he said. I've
say
been
that.
Actually,
get it right.
I know I'm fucking with you, but I'm honestly extremely disappointed right now from what I've seen in Death Stranding, but also what I experienced with Days Gone. I'm extremely disappointed with PlayStation's exclusives this year. I don't care. I think it's one of the worst. Like, and that's the thing. Like, we've gone from God of War to Spider-Man to this shit.
Yeah, but I mean, has Xbox done much better over the past 2 years?
I mean, Gears 5 is coming out. And to me,
I mean, Gears 5 is coming out, but for the last 2 years, what has it been?
I'm not even trying to compare it. I'm just saying I'm disappointed in Sony's. Like,
I can understand.
That's what I bought Sony for. I
can understand that you don't like Days Gone, but at least the story made sense, you know. And you're not going to get that with this Kojima game. Like, I could be totally wrong, and it could make total sense, and I'll be blown. I'll seriously be surprised if that happens, and I will say it. Hey, I got to eat my crow. It makes sense. Great game, whatever. I'm just not going to go in there and hate the game, but I just know from my previous experiences with Kojima games, I never really made sense of 90% of them. I be honest, 90% of them. I just don't understand.
Double M says, Double M says, we get it. The game is not for you. I feel the same way about Sea of Thieves. Well, I agree with you on Sea of Thieves. I don't like Sea of Thieves, but at least I'm honest about it. I'm not going to damage control a game like Death Stranding where none of you people know what the fuck's going on. He's peeing and mushrooms are growing and shit. That's a superpower. What is this, Avengers?
I think that's the most disappointing thing. It's not the fact that, yes, it's disappointing to see that the game isn't living up to the hype in terms of gameplay and stuff from like a common sense perspective. But what is even more disappointing is the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are championing what we're seeing now and saying, this is the greatest thing ever. It's so innovative. And I'm trying to scratch my head here and think, how what they've shown so far has not shown any innovation, in my opinion. None.
I think it was Aloe in the chat, going back to Gears for a second. He says, Rod confirmed it to be 4K 60 like you said. That's not what I actually said. I said that will not be 4K 60 in the multiplayer or the story. It'll scale much lower in the story. So in the story, I would expect checkerboarded anywhere from, native 1080p to 1440p is what I would expect them to go up in between. Maybe 1800, depending on like if they're measuring cutscenes and stuff. But I'm talking about action in gameplay. I expect in between 1080p and 1440, maybe 1440, depending. So just expect that as well. They keep saying 4K 60, but we know it's not really technically 4K. It looks great. It's modern checkerboarding, much better than the old stuff, but it's not exactly the case, though it does look a lot better than just 1080p. So Death Stranding, guys, I mean, let us know in the chat what you think about this game. I mean, even talking about it, I feel like I don't know. Gotta go.
Talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's move on from this.
I don't know what the hell is going on anymore in life.
I gotta go take a piss real quick.
All right, okay.
Watch out for the mushrooms.
Hey,
yeah, we'll just wait for him. Let's all be quiet.
Let's throw this one to Randall because he made this video. Halo Infinite in trouble? Randall, what's going on with Halo Infinite? What have you heard? And give everyone some context here. So Halo Infinite's going through some things. We wanted to talk about this. Of course, we don't mean it's actually in trouble, but we will discuss what's going on. They've got a brand new creative director, years into development. In my opinion, it could be a good and bad thing. They got rid of the guy behind Halo 5, which is good to me, but bringing in someone new this late isn't necessarily a great sign. That doesn't mean that it's in trouble, but historically, it's not a great sign. They're also hiring for a live design director for post-launch content, so expect this game to live and breathe. They will update, they'll bring you new stuff. But what's the full story on Halo Infinite and their new kind of creative director, Rand?
Yeah, so Tim Longo, who was the creative director of Halo Infinite, he left, or actually, he was demoted, had a different job within 343, and then like a week after that, left.
Demoted a janitor? Like what position?
He was demoted to, but he had a new position, and then he was basically ousted. They have a new campaign director as well. Learned about Halo at all? Although, like you said, it's like it is weird. It's always weird to see someone that high up leave before the game's.
Mm-hmm. Is Rand breaking up to everyone here?
Yeah, Rand's breaking up hardcore.
God damn it, Rand! I showed you to pay your internet bill.
Understand him.
Randall, leave the room and come back, bud.
Yeah, go get a soda pop.
I agree with what Rand is saying. It leads you to believe that there was some turmoil there within 343. One could speculate that and say that's what was going on. They wanted to change, direction. I mean, it could be as drastic as that. Like maybe the game wasn't turning out the way they expected, and Microsoft said, no, we want to go this direction with it, so you're out of here. Or it could just be that, maybe a particular person, not the one they demoted, but the creative director, maybe his job there was completely done. Maybe he wasn't needed anymore. I don't know. But it's all speculation. But at the end of the day, it's never a good thing to really put out there that, hey, a couple of big people within the dev team have left just a year out before it's,
Well, I mean, you're talking about the creative director here, though, too.
Yeah. So it's a big deal.
The only solace I have with this is that this is a big deal. Like it's not good. Like if everybody tries to damage control,
unless the new guy makes the game better, right? Then it's good.
Yeah. Unless the new guy makes the game better, then then we'll all forget about this and it'll be nothing. But the only solace I have is that they already replaced him before he left. Like they moved him and gave him another position and basically somebody else was doing his job. That's the only solace I have, is that they were ready for this. If he just fucking up and left and they were just sitting there with like, what the hell do we do now? It'd be worse. But knowing that the company and maybe the heads of Halo or the heads of Microsoft, Xbox, whatever, kind of knew that they needed to move on from the guy, that makes sense to me. Like, that's the only positive I could see from
honestly,
who knows?
it doesn't
I mean,
matter if it's good or bad at the end of the day. Like, let's say the game turns out, and I'm not saying this, just because we mention it doesn't mean I'm fucking saying this, right? Just say the game turns out worse than it would have otherwise. I'm sure if they replace this guy, they did it for a reason. I think it would be because of Halo 5 and how it was received in terms of the campaign anyway. I think that guy only kept that job as long as he did because that game sold like crazy. It sold 5 million in 3 months, confirmed by Frank O'Connor, and that was on like 18 million Xbox Ones at the time, right? So it sold a lot at the time, and it has sold a shit ton more since. I think that's why the guy kind of kept his job. But if there's a new guy and the game turns out worse, I feel like it's because he couldn't salvage what was already there. But I feel like, going forward, it's probably a better choice no matter what, right? I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it's,
And-
and a lot of people have talked about they didn't like the direction of Halo 5, 4. Like, a lot of people have been very critical of the story and the campaign, so maybe this could be a good thing,
Yeah.
Again, it's all speculation. Maybe, they had Master Chief running around with hitting people with briefcases or, pulling ladders out of his ass. And they
Or
said, no, that's
pissing.
not the direction we want to go.
Doing
And
wheelies
so
in the
they
Warthog in the fucking sandbox.
Yeah, pissing on mushrooms.
Yeah. I don't know. Rand, are you back, bud? Your internet working?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Does it
Sounds better.
sound better?
Yes. So, I mean, what are the details of this whole thing? He got demoted to janitor and someone came in and took his job?
Yeah, he was creative director. He got demoted and he left. They have also a new campaign director who I think worked at Sony before. Sign when you have somebody, creative director, leaving before the project's finished. Doesn't always necessarily mean bad things are happening, but it's just something to like, you kind of like what's going on at 343, because they've had a lot of people leave after they shipped Halo 5. Josh Holmes, he was like head of 343. A whole bunch of other people. They bled a lot of talent. And maybe that's one of the reasons why it's taken 5 years to release. They're building the engine, but also replacing the talent. Now, it could be looked at as a good thing, right? It could be bad. It could be good. Good because he was like Halo 5 was kind of his brainchild. He was the one kind of in support of the 4-player campaign, like the squad campaign, and he was the one really pushing for Master Chief to be only in it for 3 levels.
Yeah, so he needed to be replaced a long time ago.
Yeah, and Chris Lee, who is the head of 343, well, the head of the studio, Bonnie Ross is head of 343 Industries. He, it's his vision, so maybe they just butted heads. Maybe like Chris Lee wanted it one way, and this guy's like, no, it's gonna this way.
No, take Master Chief out of the game. Yeah.
So I feel like it's like if they probably should have removed him after Halo 5. People didn't like his vision of Halo.
It's a horrible vision.
Then.
Horrible vision for Halo.
Yeah, absolutely horrible vision for Halo 5. Like, but no, I'm not concerned about Halo Infinite. Like, I think it's I think they're gonna get this one right. I think it's gonna combine a great single player co-op campaign alongside the great multiplayer, and it's gonna have content that lasts for years to go along with the name.
See, now this is why we got to clarify things, though, Rand, because we got someone, the geeky nerd, saying, thought Microsoft giving devs creative freedom, though. Now, I don't know if you're just like, I don't know, maybe that's a legitimate question, but like getting rid of someone or letting someone go or letting someone resign because they're not in control of something is completely different from saying, hey, build the game you want to build.
Also, it's like, yeah, okay, you get creative freedom to build Halo.
You don't have creative freedom to run a fucking billion-dollar franchise into the ground. You do not have permission to destroy an IP.
There was just 2 guys who didn't agree with the creative direction of the franchise, and it was Chris Lee who was in charge. Is basically like, get the F out. And he was like, okay, they can make the game how they see fit, but doesn't mean everybody's always going to agree on how to go about it.
And I agree with the guy that's not the guy that made Halo 5's campaign.
Yeah. So it's just something to keep your eye on, though, because you don't hear about these high people leaving before the game comes out. People jumped on it, and then, of course, it's like, did you keep that same energy when Cyberpunk creative director left, last year? But nobody says anything about Cyberpunk, mainly because they know CD Projekt Red has delivered in the past. A lot of people still don't think 343 has fully delivered, so they're a little bit more cautious, right?
What
Hmm.
about
Just-
what about Sony losing, some of their top guys to the initiative? And I just want to ask you a question, Rand, because this is what I heard, but usually you're in the know of these things. I heard that the guy he got demoted, and then he quit. So it's not like he
Yeah.
was already.
That's what he said.
already
He
demoted.
left the company.
D-Bash
after he
just
got
came back to his
demoted.
chair. Yeah. That's what Rand said.
I don't know. I don't think the whole thing of the creative freedom, like people, you understand that like there's checks and balances and everything. Like that's not Microsoft saying they're going to support the creative freedom of people. Doesn't mean that they're like, go make what you want. We're not going to say anything. That's not the way it works. Like, I'm sorry. Like Xbox is going to, manage them. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to, like the initiative, like they've posted pictures on Twitter saying like first meeting with, heads of Xbox, right? And there's like a bunch, like 8 dudes from the initiative ready for this meeting. They're obviously pitching the game, right? They're pitching what they want to make. And Xbox is either going to say no or yes, or come back to us with something else. Or yeah, that's great. Like that's the whole thing is that, you have creative freedom, but it's always to a certain extent. And that's, Sean Layden has talked about this. A lot of people in the industry have talked about this. Like, that's just what it is. Like, for you guys to think that they're not going to manage these people is just like ignorant. Come on. Like, how much more do you need these people to say?
That's ignorant.
Ignorant.
I don't know, man. Halo Infinite, I think it's going to be cool. I definitely think it's going to be better than Halo 5 in terms of the campaign. So we will see. Halo 5 arguably had the best multiplayer ever. With
They
Halo.
did have the best multiplayer. It was
Now,
amazing.
Microsoft has reiterated that this won't change the release date of Halo Infinite, but if I can think back to when Amy Hennig left
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog, delayed for a year. I mean, they basically had to rewrite a lot of what Uncharted 4 was going to be. Now, hopefully, a lot of the creative directions are already in place. They don't really need that guy. Maybe, like whatever. I know they're saying nothing, they're going to hit that date, and I'm confident to launch Halo Infinite next year alongside Xbox Scarlett. Are you pretty much as certain as I am that this game is not going to slip, that game is coming out the same day as Xbox Scarlett next year or whatever?
Well, I didn't like when Phil said it's launching with the console because he put a date on it. When Bonnie Ross had just said, we'll launch this game when it's done. And that's what I like hearing. Because that's the difference between the old Microsoft and the new one. Is they're much more willing to give teams time, right? So I don't want them to feel pressured. I want them to make something that's more polished than we all expect it to be, to have more features. They call it surprise and delight, right? You should have things in there that you don't expect, and you're like, man, that's really cool. And I feel like that stuff takes a lot of time. Hopefully, I think Gears 5 will have some of that as well. We got to move forward, though, guys. Long-ass show already. I didn't realize what fucking time it was. So I'll just say this real quick. Ray tracing has been confirmed for Minecraft, just like I fucking said it would be. That's confirmed for DXR support, and it comes to all compatible devices. I said it on Twitter. You can expect this on Scarlett. We'll skip the Cyberpunk update for now, Fonz. Xbox Game Pass, August 2019. Devil May Cry 5, Age of Empires out on the PC. Devil May Cry 5 out on the Xbox. And that's out now if you want to play that. Remember, Game Pass is a never was, and you can go download that $60 game right now for free with your subscription. Have fun. I never understood the anti-Game Pass movement. It's a choice. People say, well, it robs games of sales. Those people can't read. Developers, Phil Spencer, everyone's confirmed it's good for their game. One ex-CEO of one studio came out and said, we weren't paid enough money for our game. The rest of them are like we quadrupled our sales. We quadrupled our engagement. It's great. Devil May Cry 5 now in Game Pass. Fonz, are you going to try this?
I tried it already.
Devil May Cry 5. Oh, yeah, that's right. You did try it.
I played it. Yeah, I didn't care much for it, but different strokes. But yeah, it's a great game for Game Pass because it's loved by many. So you want it, it's there.
Hey, I give a shout out to everybody watching this live, guys. I know it's a long ass show, but if you haven't already hit that like button, let's try to get to 400 likes for the end of the show. 1,000 after the fact. We've already passed our first goal. Thank you guys so much. Share this, we share things. We are kind of trying to get through more of these topics. Thanks for everyone who's still here with us. Xbox.
Real fast, Taylor, I want to back up what you just made.
Go ahead.
You know that guy that said we weren't paid enough?
Yep.
Right? His company, Paradox Interactive,
they
just put another game on Game Pass, Stellaris. The company that he used to work for loves Game Pass because they've been supporting it a lot.
Mm-hmm. So why is it, Rand, that we see these same people hunt for likes that are talking about how Game Pass is bad because one ex-CEO said something, but when 50,000 developers say otherwise...
XCO was just like, yeah, I wish I got more money, but he still made the deal, and the company's still continuing to make the deal. It's like, of course, wouldn't you want? Yeah, I wish I got paid more from YouTube. Yeah, I wish I got bigger salary for my job. Yeah, I wish. Of course, everybody wishes they got more money for stuff. You know, come on.
I guarantee
I don't know.
he made a deal that he kind of was like reserved on because they didn't know Game Pass. Then he saw how successful it was, and he realized that he left a lot. Guaranteed.
So they got more engagement than they planned on.
Yeah, than they planned, and then I think that he was just kind of like, "Oh shit, this is cool," and that's why he probably used it as a negotiation tactic against Microsoft to kind of with his other games or new games that are to basically get a better deal because he saw how many people downloaded and played his games.
Well, Wilmy Hood, you've been really quiet. I mean, my problem with this Wilmy Hood is when people use the one case, this ex-CEO who did it anyway, right? And they ignore the countless other cases of people saying Game Pass is amazing, it did this for us, it did that for us. And they kind of post that like, look, I told you, my fear-mongering, I told you. What did you think about Game Pass and the fact that these games are now in there? You can just play them, download them, play them.
Well, I mean, this is kind of an old conversation now, but I mean, a great thing. And I didn't even know we were still on. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're still on. Why do you think I'm trying to skip through the topics, man? I mean, at the end of the day, I guess that's Wimmy's way of saying, fuck it, I don't want to talk about it. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to something. I'll let D-Batch kind of lead on this, and then we can start wrapping things up. Only the most hardcore are still here anyway. So, I mean, sure, these guys don't mind as much. But basically, this PlayStation 5 leak from Thuway D-Batch saying the PlayStation 5's GPU is running at 2 gigahertz, 2,000 megahertz, and does rival an RTX 2080 in performance. We can expect similar things with the Scarlett. Whatever they're talking about this thing, I'm sure we can expect similar things. I've been saying expect GTX 1080/RTX 2070 performance out of this thing on the GPU side. What say you, D-Batch?
Well, based on this leak, and it does seem credible because, you know, they got the exact clocks for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, so it kind of leads some credence to the leak. And some people thinking that it can't reach 2 gigahertz, but current Navi right now, the 5700 XT, is reaching 2000 megahertz. And this is just the first generation Navi, which is not even, you know, the full RDNA architecture. It's still got some elements of GCN in there, right? So the ones that I'm expecting in the consoles should be, you know, full RDNA. And if we base, you know, what we've got from the Xbox right now, looks like it's going to be RDNA 2 based off the Xbox. Nonetheless, it should be more powerful than what's out right now on Navi. And if it's already achieving 2 gigahertz at that, I would expect that maybe these consoles will reach, you know, 2 gigahertz, especially if, you know, they have a good cooling solution. I know Microsoft pretty much will have a good cooling solution. Like when I saw, you know, the reveal at the Xbox event, whatever, E3, you could see there was a big cooler on their engineering sample, really big, beefy cooler. And I know it's, you know, it's their pre-engineering sample if things are going to change towards launch, but it still gave me, you know, the inkling that they really need to cool this this APU. So I think both of these consoles will have a good cooling solution, and I don't think 2 gigahertz is out of the question. Now, will it be 2080 performance? I don't think it'll be exactly 2080 performance, but I think it'll be really close because when you have, you know, the mobile equivalent, you know, sometimes it drops off a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be exactly 2080 performance. I think it'll be close, maybe with some console optimization, very close. I think it will be greater than 1080 performance. I think it'll be greater than 2070 performance, to be honest with you. But I think it'll fall just a little bit short of the 2080. Now, the Xbox, I'm a little bit unsure with that because what they've announced so far seems to be a little bit beefier than what Sony has announced. And I just expect, from everything that we've been hearing from insiders, I just expect the Xbox to be a little bit more beefier. So maybe the Xbox will be 2080 or a little bit greater performance. Nonetheless, both of these consoles will be really close to that metric. So I think it's plausible. And let's not forget, next year when these consoles come out, we're gonna have new architecture. We're gonna have RDNA 2 from AMD, and like the big Navi card is gonna be out at that point in time. we're gonna be into our second generation touring cards, with RTX from NVIDIA. So this metric is not going to be really a big metric because the next generation cards are going to be more powerful. So I don't think it's out the question. I think we're going to see great performance out of both consoles, and this leak is a little bit more believable.
Well, I know the rest of the panel is absolutely thrilled to talk about technology right now.
They're like,
I know.
I'm expecting the Scarlett to be at running about a 1050 Ti level.
1050 Ti.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, I don't expect 2080 performance. I don't expect that much out of a box. It'll be on 300 watts or less at a cost that will be consumer friendly like that. I do expect somewhere between 1080 and 2070 though. 2070 slightly faster than 1080. And this is coming from their newest architecture as well. They have confirmed hardware accelerated ray tracing, unlike the PS5, which is good. 2000 megahertz. To do that on current Navi, you're pushing a lot of wattage. So we'll see what they do, and this will all be on an APU as well. So we'll see what they end up doing. But I mean, it's all pointing towards, and this is kind of verified through Gonzalo, which was connected to the GPU type. The GPU type referenced the original 911 or 900 whatever clock for the PS4 Pro and the base PS4. So all this stuff kind of was in the code, which is what makes this interesting. And then it all comes from Thruway, which some people say is a radical Sony fanboy. I don't know much about him, but he has leaked things in the past. So plan on this being kind of the most accurate representation of what we might have. And what I said in my video is sometimes people that don't know much about graphics cards or have much experience with them will say, well, math says this, 2080 performance. But I think realistically, when you have that knowledge of the math plus the experience, you can kind of dial that back a little bit down, towards more of the 2070. That's just my opinion, though. But at the end of the day, that's still a ton of performance for a console. Let us know what your thoughts are down below. But hey, you know what? We have another topic or two, but there was so much in Gamescom. We covered so much, man. We have got to get out of here. Ass cheeks are falling asleep. Panel's falling asleep, obviously. Wilmy Hood said, go fuck yourselves. I'm not answering that question. So yeah, it was about a 2-hour show. It seems really long, but man, I mean, I feel like that's the average. I don't like to get it out that long. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. Thanks to everyone who showed up. Hit that like button on your way out. Check out the links down below. Hit that join button if you happen to give a fuck. Doing giveaways on Patreon and so much more. Let's do some outros. Hey, Zalker, buddy, what have you been playing, man? And where can people find you?
Playing a lot of Apex. I played actually a little bit of StarCraft 2 over the weekend.
Trash.
That was really nice.
Trash.
And I've been playing a little bit of Uncharted 4, which I like, but I need to jump back into that. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I've made videos. I've had a good time and chilling in parties with you. Yeah, videos are doing really well. I'm really enjoying it. I really like making them. People have been enjoying them. A lot of positive feedback. People actually enjoy positive Xbox. What the fuck? Yeah, man, just a good time all around in gaming. And right after this, I'll be streaming on Mixer, some Apex, and chatting with everybody if everybody wants to talk about the topics or anything, or just hang out and chill. So I'll be doing, bud.
Oh God, you're streaming?
Yes, I'm gonna be streaming some.
Welcome to Mount Olympus, bitch.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, Rand, what have you been playing, bud? Where can people find you?
I've been playing shit, dealer. I've been playing shit.
I ain't playing shit, girl.
Watched Mindhunter Season 2. Freaking
Hell yeah.
amazing. I watched Haunting of Hill House.
Are you
TV
submitting
watching
it
mood,
right
which
now?
you-
Like, what's going on?
What have you been doing? I've been watching
TV on
Netflix,
Xbox.
waiting for these games to come out, bro.
TV. So what you're saying is you finally hit the age where youth submitting and Don Matrix plans coming into play.
Stalker,
TV.
Can you tell dealer about the awesomeness of Mindhunter?
You need to fucking watch it, bro. It's great. Like,
I
it's
ain't
really
watching
good.
shit.
About that off the podcast, we'll talk.
Put out a
Oh,
Gears
yeah.
5 video today. It's insane. Check it out if you want to. YouTube channel. Randall Thor 19. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for having me on again, dealer.
No problem, brother. Shoguns, thanks for the $2 in super chat, bud. Cheers. Fonzarelli, what have you been playing, bud, and where can people find you?
You know, I've been playing that Blood and Wine, Witcher 3. Really good stuff, man. Anyways,
Almost the best game you've ever played, right?
almost the best game I've ever played. Honestly, really good stuff. Yeah, so you can find me here on YouTube at The Grounded Gamer or on Twitter at jfonzarelli. And also, I just, you know what? I don't usually do this, but guys, go follow Zocker over on Mixer. He's a great streamer to follow. he interacts with the chat and everything. So go give him a follow.
Yeah, if you want to watch someone die over and over and get carried by their friend, go follow Zuck.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying.
Exactly.
He sucks on Apex. He really does. But go watch him.
God, I love my friends.
Hey, Deep Batch, bub, what have you been playing? Where can we find you?
Really haven't been playing anything. I did the whole show on the weekend, television, so kind of hooked up for the next 2 weeks, but I will be trying to put out some content. I did, like I said earlier, post that content from the AMD event. You guys can check that out on my YouTube channel at dbatch. And of course, you guys can catch me on Twitter at d_batch.
Awesome. And I think I got everyone right. So yeah, I have been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Battle for Atlantis DLC. And I am trying to get out of, I think it's Act 1 or Episode 1, but I'm trying to clear the whole map and stuff, so it's taking a while. But other than that, I should be playing Gears 5 soon. I should have an early review for you guys. I'll be playing Wreckfest around the same time, I think, well, probably before, on the 25th. I'll be playing Control, and I'll probably try out Blair Witch as well. But hey, let us know what you've been playing. Thanks again for rocking out with us. We are all dying. We're getting the fuck out of here. You guys are amazing. Hit that like button, share this, we share things. We are out.
Later, everybody.
Peace.